Have you ever stopped to think about the systems that are in place all around us today that are designed to disconnect us? Designed to disconnect us from each other, designed to disconnect us from the planet and from animals and our food, and just systems of disconnection. My day was entirely about seeing these systems at work and the effect that it can have when you challenge those systems. If for someone else's mind who's so ingrained in one of those systems, it can be so triggering. And that's what happened when I made an offer on the house that I want to buy in Florida. I made this offer and they came back with a counter. And this process of making an offer and getting a counter from the seller felt so disconnected for me because I didn't actually know who I was negotiating with. I didn't know where that counteroffer was even coming from. And so I asked the real estate agent, can I talk to the seller? Tell them that I want to know who I'm dealing with. Right now I'm dealing with you. I like you, but you're coming back to me with, hey, here's the counter offer, and I don't actually know where that's coming from, and it feels like in my space, it just feels really amorphous. Whoa. Apparently, that is like a derogatory, racist thing to say in the real estate world because it was incredibly triggering because he felt like he was being cut out of the process. He thought that things could only go terribly awry if that were to be the case. And I found out later that actually real estate agents are told, do not let the buyer and seller talk to each other. And one of the main reasons is because so many people have a hard time remaining emotionally calm when trying to get their way in a negotiation without taking it personally. And I said to him, hey, I'm not that person. I just want to know that there's a human being on the other side of this negotiation, and I want them to know that they're also dealing with a human being. So it's not just numbers and calculators and it's being just disconnected from each other. I just want to really just like know who I'm dealing with. Okay. Thank you, Sas. Bye. You know, Ryan, it gets to that thing where in my field, in my space, I just can't feel the other human being on the side of this, and it makes it harder for me to feel my way through the process. I'm not able to feel someone, and just having a conversation for 10 or 15 minutes with someone, like, oh, like I feel their heart, I feel where they're coming from, or I feel that they're completely closed off. They actually don't care at all. This is just about numbers. They're running an algorithm and could care less about who I am or what I want. That conversation was interesting. That conversation was eye-opening to me how hard this gentleman who I legitimately get along with as a human being, how hard he pushed to not allow me to speak with another human being who I'm, by the way, planning on exchanging a lot of energy with in the purchase of this home. And so that's just one system, this real estate system that is disconnecting us. And thinking about all the ways in which we're also disconnected from the planet. Truly disconnected from the planet. And we'd been speaking to locals in Venice, Florida, and wanting to get a handle on the beaches, which we'd seen photos of, and it was supposed to be so epic and white sand and clear blue water that looks like this. And when we actually got to Venice, what we were told about was this thing called the red tide. And the red tide being this naturally occurring phenomenon that I didn't know a lot about, but Hunter did.
Red tide's actually an algae that blooms via different oceanic biological factors like heat or different plant life that's like kind of overbalanced because of the balance of sea life. But what's happening is that the agriculture inland, which is run by the actual like the Army Corps, so like sugar cane, corn, they use fertilizers and basically like plant steroids, and that runs off into the rivers, which then go into the ocean. So it's like steroids.
Whoa! So
for
the Red Sea,
the red tide.
And so here we are in Venice. There's this crazy epidemic with dead animals washing up on the ocean shore that I absolutely had to see. And that led to us making the decision, get out of this work cave that we had been in all day and go and see the red tide.
So we just got to the beach. What do you see?
I see
a big pile of dead fish.
This is only a little piece of it. Apparently there's like dolphins coming in and manatees. That's probably over like in the mangroves, you know, there's lots of little river mouse where those types of animals tend to be, but this is just fish, and there's like puffer fish and eels and lots of nasty stuff.
Show me.
Over here. So you have skipjacks, you got puffer fish, you got some like rock crabs or little stone crabs. You see the eels over there, the long guys, like those like snakes.
Mm-hmm.
And then over there is like a little parrotfish or
a snapper.
A snapper, yeah.
Seeing these dead animals washing up on the ocean shore, which is a line from a piece of poetry that I have called Water is Life, where I literally say, what is it that we are fighting for? To stop polluting the air and the ocean floor? There are dead animals washing up on the ocean shore. They can't even go outside in China without a mask on anymore. We're trading our oxygen for the processed foods in our grocery stores. And that iPhone 12, it's dope for sure, but if it can't breathe and drink for you, it won't be what you're hoping for. So remind me, please, what is it we are fighting for? I wrote that poem over a year ago, and yet seeing the impact that human beings are having, even in collaboration with a natural phenomenon that's having dolphins, sharks, manatees, fish, eels, crabs washing up dead on the ocean shore, put an entirely new depth of emotional experience to that poem and to those lines. And the reason why I exposed myself to that, by the way, because so many people right now, you might be thinking, why did you go and see that if you knew it was going to be an uncomfortable experience? It's because the awareness gives us choice. By having awareness of what's going on, I am trusting that it will change me in some way and provide me with a wider array of choices to make. And that I will leave feeling more inspired and motivated to create an impact on this planet, to spread awareness so that other people have more choices available to them. Because right now it's out of sight, out of mind for most people, and the systems that are created are designed to keep us distracted, disconnected, and out of touch with the pain and the discomfort of what's actually going on this planet. And so what about you? What do you think about my desire to speak to the seller? What do you think about the systems that are around you right now that are disconnecting you? That if you simply made a decision to go and break out of, you would have more choice. You would have more feeling. You would have more opportunity to create change on this planet. I encourage you to do it. I encourage you to go out and explore outside the confines of the systems that you were born into or you moved into or have been thrust upon you without you consciously making the decision to participate. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for being in this conversation. You are seen, you are heard, and you are loved. And by the way, I wrote a poem about plastic. It's fantastic. I'll say it again just like I've said it before. There are dead animals washing up on the ocean shore. I wonder if people see the connection to their purchase at the convenience store. I wonder what switch in me flipped to see that inconvenient connection more and more. Chemicals sprayed onto food that is made into more chemicals they'd like us to believe is food. Place those chemicals into plastic wrappers, place inside of plastic bags, purchase them with plastic cards, and drive them home in gas-fueled cars. Use it once and then discard. Take the plastic bag and throw out into plastic bags, put out into plastic cans, picked up by the trash can man using plastic gloves to hide his human hands. Unfortunately, there's no way to decay our trash dumped out by the trash can man when we dump it out in landfills lined with plastic, man. So what we're actually doing is driving our piles of plastic to more piles of plastic, stretched out for miles and miles because that plastic has lasted more than the people who made it. They're all buried in caskets. And maybe you think that I have gone batshit, or maybe you think this poem's quite drastic, but I'm simply asking the question, why are we doing this When's the last time you asked it? Thank you so much for watching this and taking the time out of your day to commit to the art of choosing love. And it is my hope that by showing you my heart, showing you the vulnerable, authentic, real sides of what I'm going through in my life, it will inspire you to share more of your heart and your authenticity and your unique voice with the world. And we want this to be a growing tribe. And in order for that to happen, we want you. So please subscribe, share this with your loved ones, engage in the comments with others who are on the same journey as you of using love as the compass. You are always, in all ways, seen, heard, and loved.